It is good and it is pleasant that we are here gathered on this very day. I am Liam T. Jarrett of the Aquarian, and we are moving. My hope is that the internet connection is, in fact, good and stable. How are we doing out there? We find ourselves the last day of December. The last day of November, entering into the first day of December. This video is for the month of December, as we find ourselves in Sagittarius season, and we will be moving into the month of Capricorn. This is a time for a purification of fire, spirituality, philosophy, higher learning, publishing, preaching, teaching, learning. This is a month of being a guru, finding a guru, dealing with guruism, our ego, expanding beyond our self into the heavenly realms of Jupiter, Zeus, joviality, Jove. May he smite Yahweh. What are we doing here at the Aquarian? We are coming up with a new way of doing religion, spirituality, theology. These are things that are allocated to this time of year. As we come in from the cold into the warmth of fire in winter. As we see the flames dance, rising higher, so is that a symbol of that fire in the darkness of winter, Sagittarius. It's a reason for hope. It's a reason for joy. It's a reason for faith renewed, restored, as we meet the next villain of the next sign, Satan, Saturn, Capricorn, the adversary. The month of Tevet. Tov, good. Vat, the opposite. TVT. Seal, Tav, V. The seal to the V is good, to the vessel. The alchemical seal is, then we seal it from the other side at that winter solstice part. And the V's in the middle. So we have one cross to the left and one cross to the right. The good criminal and the bad criminal. The good thief stole the kingdom of heaven. We are learning. We have learned. It has been revealed to us that the story of the Bible, much of it is astral, mythological, cosmological, based on astronomy. And we are refashioning the way that we celebrate the seasons and make meaning of them and come together in community, aligning with the seasons. If you're in the southern hemisphere, you're doing it backwards. If you're on the equator, send me a link. We go surfing. Let's go surfing now. Everybody's surfing now. Come on a safari with me. We are in the last season of fall, air, mutable fire. That's why it's that purgation, that changing, that purifying, that perfecting in the spirit. And let us fill our cups up with it as we go into Tavat, which means Capricorn. It means muddy. One of the ways to interpret that. Because we go into Earth sign Capricorn, into the waters of winter. There's the cardinal energy, the starting anew. Now's the breaking down. We have to break down now so that what happens in the next month, that it could withstand the breaking down of the elements of the exterior realm. What's that? Ultimately, the kingdom of heaven within us, our mind, capital M, that we are building, that we are perfecting, our imagination as a tool, our willpower as a chisel. So that ultimately, that's where we go to when we die. We're getting out of Scorpio season, which was a lot of reflection on death. And we come through that renewed. Every month is a rebirth. Every day is a rebirth. Every second of the day. Every in and out. And where the in and the out meet is the eternal now, where we find God. We want to ground ourselves so that we are a conduit, a channel of spirit, so that our ego, our attachments, our vices don't get in the way. All the trials that we've received, that we will continue to, guess what? They're probably going to get more difficult. That's life. But it's not to run away from it and not engage with it, which can be a Sagittarian gone wrong. They're the opposite of commitment, of sticking with one thing. Is an experiencing all to their fullest and then dying of a drug overdose. Sagittarius gone wrong. The Scorpio, Sag, Capricorn, those three signs, they all have their own cocoon, is what they're called. Their rectification from the split to the two, the Adam and the Eve. And we rectify them by bringing Adam and Eve back together within ourselves and in our world. Where does that go wrong? Where freaky Kabbalists try to turn everybody into transgenders, which is an outward expression of what we're trying to do psychologically. We're trying to marry the animus and the anima, the spirit, masculine, and the soul, more feminine, or going in. So may our comings and our goings be especially good. Why? Because we say so. We're taking authority. That's the lesson that Capricorn is going to teach us. Saturn. And if we don't take authority over ourselves, then we give it up to some authority, thinking that they're divinely placed when we're divinely placed. Each month has its own special, unique challenge. Labor, one of the 12 of Hercules. And what is that of the Sagittarius? It's filled with fire and air. So what's it's lacking? Earth and water. So we're going to want to bring those elements to that. My video camera seems as if it has frozen. My audio is working. Please hang in there, my little lover bees. Love, love, love. Look at my face. All you need is love, love. Love is all you need. Love is all you need. Mercury is going to go into retrograde in Capricorn. So that's good. But we have a lot of planets. We have a lot of planets going direct right now. Oh, on December 25th. Hang in there. We're getting our video back. I'm sorry. On New Year's Eve, y'all. At right before the clock strikes 12 on midnight. There is, we got the video back. I didn't panic or anything. That's great. Usually I'll have a meltdown. We have Jupiter going direct, planet of abundance, in the sign of Taurus, of wealth. That's good. I mean, it would be a lot better if Uranus wasn't there. But it's like a surprise financial blessing, y'all, on New Year's Eve. Find out where Taurus is in your house. You get a material blessing to that. Let's say it's in your 4th house, as is mine. A material blessing to your home from a mother. From a patriotic act. From sometimes your ancestors is your 4th house. And we could go through the houses. Do book a reading with your boy. Go to email me at Liam at the Aquarian.tv. You can go to my website, theaquarian.tv, and book a reading. If you can't afford that, hit me up. I'm oftenly. Oh, Mr. Obvious. Thank you. Sorry for the technological glitch. But we got it. We got her done. Okay, so I think we talked, that was a good meditation, reflection on December. What's, like if you're a Sagittarius or a Pisces heavy, ascendant or sun, when Jupiter goes direct on New Year's Eve night, you feel a real new wind in your sails. You are the wind beneath my sails. Wings. Jupiter, Zeus. A sign of Zeus is the eagle. And it came and would gnaw on the liver of Prometheus, who stole Jupiter rules like the liver. 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 We beseech thee, Oracle, great goddess, ye who dwell in the inter sanctum sanctum, the holy of holies, seat of wisdom, mercy, you who are knowledge, its very self. Oh my goodness, dog. I had a card in here flipped the wrong way. And that happened to be the card I picked. So if I was looking, I would have noticed, but I didn't look and I picked it anyways. The 3 of Swords, which is not always the card that we like to see. We think of it as the card of heartbreak. When we found out that there was a 3rd member of the party. And what it is really karmic justice coming to deal its blow. Saturn in Libra. Saturn's exalted in Libra because that's its duty, is to carry out the justice. And it's an air thing. It's not an emotional thing. That's why it hurts our emotions, our hearts. But we have to trust in divine timing. Libra, the most divine month of the year. Saturn, father time of the chronos of the chronometer. Divine timing. Just ultimately realizing Satan is our advocate. But he had to play the role of the adversary. Why? To get us up the mount of Capricorn, of winter solstice, of the world. For our great transfiguration, bringing the old and the new together, forward. Do not stay on that mountain. Go down into the towns and look for the man bearing the water pitcher. That's after Capricorn. We go into Aquarius. Revelation revealed, my friends. I'm not sure if I've heard many other theologians, astrologers put that together. And as soon as I show a little bit of pride, Saturn will come and strike that down, which is why Mars is ultimately exalted in Capricorn. It's Mars disciplined. Mars using the best, most efficient with this energy, directed towards the future, forward. We have a forward moving energy we're about to get to when we go into those muddy waters of Capricorn, where we get molded, fashioned anew by the great potter god Ptah. Ptah, you are the rock that I will build my church on. Jupiter is what the church was built on for the last 2,000 years. Now it's going to the Sabbath queen of the seventh day of the seventh year, where we meet our Shabbos queen, Saturn, through our obedience to that which is upright. They're disciplined. He hands off his daughter to us, Venus. And we meet in the inter sanctum, holy of holies, in a divine embrace, union, consummation of heaven and earth. We do this in our spiritual lives, and you might even have it come across into your own physical life. And that's how we build souls. And through the building of that soul is what survives into the ending of this material realm. Is this material realm, is it trapping us? Is it keeping us stuck? Or are we using it to build the kingdom of heaven? Well, it has to be done within, and then we can bring it without. This great architect, Saturn in Capricorn. Right now, we're looking for inspiration, aspiration. Is that energy to fill us up so that we could go into the studio and master the track? First is the inspiration that we have in Sagittarius, where we're filled with the spirit and we're just going, we're free flowing, freestyling, bam. That's the time for that. To be a channel for that spirit, Sagittarius. And then when we get to Capricorn, putting it into material manifestation. This is how we line ourselves up with the seasons, recognizing that we are fucking earth and water, clay ourselves, endowed with intellect, the mind, air, ability to communicate, think, as a vessel for the fire, the energy, the light of consciousness of light. And we hold them together. The spirit. What spirit? It's up to us. Oh, God. Who we don't, in the moment, that's like, oh, that freaking is painful. Lots of sadness, heartbreak. But as we look back on it, that was a catalyst for me to really step into my own self-worth acceptance. I am worthy of abundance. Believe it, feel it, and vision it. Focus in on it, because this is a season that is filled with inspiration and highfalutin ideas and even over the top. But if we can remember our lessons of Scorpio and that energy that helped us to focus in, then we can really take that fire and put it into the depths of this fertile soil, bringing water, bringing light, bringing up riches. As we heal often traumatic, those things that we buried, we bring them up, we transmute them through what? Through self-love, care, forgiveness, acceptance, responsibility, taking responsibility. God, in our rejection, we receive protection. And sometimes we don't realize that until we look back. So let us remember those times where we didn't recognize it in the present, so that if we are, and we perhaps may come across situations that do hurt the heart, because perhaps our offer of love was rejected, ignored, unappreciated, abused. Let us learn from that, gain wisdom, and apply it so that ultimately, when we have a hurt, often it's attached to our ego. I played a bad round of disc golf with my buddies, and I practiced for a freaking year. And the dude who freaking only plays once every month, while I'm out there playing 5 times a week, beats me. And it's a real blow to the ego. But ultimately, it's like, oh, look how much of this unhealthy ego I have. Some schools in the East would say any amount of ego is bad. And that comes into linguistical types of things, but Sabbath, Saturn, Saturnalia, worship, Jupiter, Zeus. Bring back the ancestral gods. And what do we do with the Bible? We see it for what it is. It carried along lots of the Babylonian astrological stories and an amalgamation of other stories. Demonized the majority of the world, is total racist, and is propaganda, and it's being used to has been used to hoodwink and control the masses for a long time, and perhaps still is the relationship of religion and politics. That's a Capricorn type thing. Authority. When we get to Capricorn season, we got Pluto there. And I think Pluto's going to step into Aquarius maybe in a year. So it's one of the last times, if not the last time, I'll have to check, that freaking Pluto, Lord of the Underworld, the great recycler. Have you seen the recycling trucks when they push you in? They crunch you and then heat you up and then like liquefy you, and just that process. It's not fun in the world of Capricorn, of the structures of this earth. So when the sun goes there, what does the sun do? It's this high light in the sky. It will highlight Capricornian type stuff, structures with the Plutonian, the energy into it. That tearing down destructive energy. Ask any Scorpio who is has that inclination to destruction. And often it goes into self-destruction, but is ultimately for the resurrection, the rising of the phoenix. Again, my friends, we have to be bold in what I'm doing is teaching people the allegorical, symbological meanings of these things and their roots, metaphysical, spiritual, psychological, so that we could get out of the literal interpretation of it, taking these stories in the Bible as literal and historical. The characters of Abraham and Moses are not historical figures, Solomon or David. And neither are Mary, Joseph, and Jesus. This is bringing reason to our faith. And it doesn't wipe it away. And we're not all of a sudden atheists because we don't believe in the God of the Bible. And we actually see that the God of the Bible is he's not the God. One people's use of our idea of God and our propensity towards religiosity manipulated, used for the strength of one, just the God of them, people who wrote the Bible. Mesopotamia and the Middle East. I am freaking Irish and German, Polish, Scandinavian. I have nothing to do with that. And actually, in that book, it calls for the wiping out of my people. Why would I worship anything like that? Through Christianity, Judaism conquered the European Western world. Through Islam, it captured the Arabian world, much of Africa, which wasn't taken by Christianity already. This is a tough thing for people to hear, especially during this time of year. So what do? Since we know that the birth of Jesus and nativity and it's all not historical and actually was used to harm many people, still is to this day. We are Pluto and Capricorn. We recycle it. We transmutate it. We don't run away from it, ignore us. That's what Sagittarius could often do. Capricorn is saying, I have responsibility now that I've been given this knowledge. The more that you learn, the more that you know, the more responsibility you have to do something about it. You just can't sit back and play ignorance anymore. Because when Judgment Day comes, oh, Cinnamon, where you gonna run to? Oh, on that day. It's sad because I love reggae music. But it's like marching into Zion. The Christian religion was used, the Bible was used to justify slavery. But then it was also used to encourage, adopt the leaving out of Exodus, out of Egypt thing. Which is the only story that's, none of that is historical. What we do have historically is the Hyksos, which have Jewish relation, being kicked out after usurping the throne by siding with the enemies and sabotaging and infiltrating the governments in place. Yeah, what the fuck? It's fun to like break through these walls, but you see how difficult it is. And for other people, we hold our religion, our spirituality, those things sacred, divine, our own personal relationship with what? Ourselves, our consciousness. We're all trying to figure this out together. What are we going to do with the Bible? The Quran? We burning them isn't gonna is that Sagittarius? But we can, yeah. Sagittarius can be a religious zealot who goes and burns out the Library of Alexandria, smashes the noses off of all the beautiful sculptures because they're idols, because they're not built to this God of those people, my people, all supremacy. We need, yes, it's good to have a certain amount of pride in your own background, lineage, those who sacrificed to bring us here today, those who had sex to bring us here today, and those cultures, and being proud of them, especially when we notice that there's an energy, a current that wants to wipe them out. The Bible shows us that. Yet the Bible is a spell book, astrological spell book. It is. It's filled with curses, black magic, tricking God through goat sacrificing, coming up with covenants by splitting a turtle dove into two and walking in between the two sides of it, holding a torch. Saul telling David to come back with 100 foreskins of its enemies, a bald rabbi calling out wild bears to kill children for calling them bald, a talking donkey. If we see them for the allegory they are, then we can also see them for the dark allegories that we are and how it's been used as dark magic. What is dark magic? The manipulation of someone else against their will, without their knowledge, for their harm. Really just manipulating it all. But when do we have in our lives, have we ever practiced black magic? Really the misuse of our energy. The Three of Swords is kind of tough. Let's go to the Oracle deck to see what do we learn about the Three of Swords? Don't let the mind hurt the heart. The mind controls the emotions. Let's not the emotions control the mind. Let's find that balance. Your life is a canvas. Artist, manifestation, creative accountability. That reminds me of something I said. What did I say about, I know I said a lot, brilliant things. What did I say about responsibility? Creative accountability. I feel like that's a little bit similar. Your life is a canvas, my friend. And you are the artist. Why can't I find the page that this is? There's a card in here called You're Not For Everyone. I got that message earlier today. Okay, your life is a canvas. You are the artist of your life, and your life is a canvas. Take responsibility for your ability to create That is such a Capricorn slogan. The creation of the new earth out of the mud. Like, the new birth of the sun at the summer, 3 days after the death. The winter solstice. In some traditions, the Capricorn is the first month of the year. It's the 10th out of the 12, and the 10 goes down to a 1. And ultimately, so then the 11 goes to a 2, and the 12 goes to a 3. And so then 13 is kind of an unlucky number like that, but it's also that 13th sign is Ophiuchus, who stands on the top of the zodiac belt with his finger, the tip of his toe just tingling in it. That's almost how we need to be, is above things and then inserting ourselves in strategically, well planned out. Got a little bit. Anybody out there watching? Oh, we had 13 views at one point today. Let's go. What was how long did I keep the average one? 3 seconds. I'm not sure. Your present moment is based on your past thoughts and beliefs. Your current thoughts determine your future. If we have 1 foot in the future and 1 foot in the past, we're pissing on the now. I heard that. And I never remember sayings in that one. Pretty easy to remember and so spot on. What kind of life do you want to create for the future? What do you want your legacy to look like? That's Capricorn stuff. Left behind. Do you want to be left behind when the rapture comes? Now's the time to get caught wrapped in the spirit. And the month of Tevat is also when they had like Nebuchadnezzar really come in and start the destruction of the temple process. But there's a destruction moment in all of signs, and there's a rebuilding. Some just that destruction motif is a little bit more pronounced. The Virgo, Scorpio seasons, and Capricorn. I got some dogs barking. What are you being called to create? Reconnect with your manifesting power and align your thoughts, feelings, and actions with the vibration that matches them. It's never too late to start. No experience is required. All you need is an open heart and mind and consistent daily action. If you're not sure what you like to create, start instead with a deep feeling of deep gratitude, with a feeling of deep gratitude for all that's good in your life right now. State out loud what you're most thankful for. Look for the good in your life. And one thing will be certain, you'll find yourself attracting more and more good experiences into your world. This card is inviting you to see your entire life as a canvas, and the picture is completely up to you. Color it with your thoughts and feelings. Create the life that you most long to live. You may also be called to be more creative in your everyday life. What have you been called to create? How can you express yourself more creatively? You are the divine Potter. Harry Potter. You are the main character of this show. You are the author of your life. You are the script. Ultimately, you're also... It's like the freaking Truman Show, I think, in some sense. We all like to think we're the main character, and our lives are so much more interesting than they are usually. That's why everybody thinks they should have a podcast, or like the camera should follow their lives around. When in reality, it's probably fucking depressing as shit. Maybe I'm just talking about myself. Sagittariuses will tell you like it is. Yeah, Scorpios will do it, but it'll be like, bam. Sagittariuses will do it, and they'll just be like, it almost doesn't hurt as bad as the Scorpio sting. The Sagittarius has the spear right to the heart. The centaur next to the death in Capricorn. Right after the betrayal of the kiss of death from Scorpio, Judas. Astrological in nature. Capricorn season is when they do the scapegoat ritual, which Jesus is likened to. What we do here is unique, you know. Hope you all appreciate it. I want to pick one more card it's good to have 3 cards. The power of 3 compels me. And this is my own special magical deck that I made up. We got the X. It's also the top of a pyramid. It's also the end. It's the 24th letter in our alphabet. It's also a seal. It's the cross. It's 10. The finality, what's the 10? But it's also a 1 at the same time. When we get to that 10th month, it's also a 1 at the same time. Right now, we're in the 9th. It's the 9th inning, my friends. Bottom of the freaking 9th inning. 2 outs. You are down by 3 runs. You are beaten and battered. You got a full count, my friend. You write what happened. Do we not get into the frickin' catcher's mitt with the foul tip? That's like the worst thing to happen. You swing and it hits off your bat and goes right into the catcher's mitt. No, the worst thing to happen is to not even swing. Then at least you can say you did. And by golly, you just might rip one out of the frickin' park and you bring everybody in to home base. And you're carried off on the shoulders of angel wings into the heavenly court to meet your bride, where you will reign as a loving, compassionate, caring king or queen. Priests, priestesses, have a great freaking month of December. Deca. It's a lot. It's a hard knock life for us. It's a hard knock life for us. Instead of kisses, we get kicks. Living in this orphanage. That's kind of the Capricorn. We're not in Capricorn yet, though. But what I say, we got to drink up on that spirit to get us through the winter months that's coming. I love y'all so much.